Okay, so here is another problem where you gotta stick with the law of cosines all the way through, because if you don't, it's all bad. Okay, so here I'm given that side A is 8, side B is 12, and side C is 5. So this clearly defines a triangle, and I'm going to draw it. Okay, and let's draw it to scale. So side C is the shortest, so C is 5. So not necessarily to scale, but at least in terms of the lengths of the sides, it's kind of obvious what's going on here. So side B is 12, and side A is 8. Okay, so this is a clearly defined triangle, right? So this would be our angle A, this is our angle C, and this is our angle B. So let me label this A, B, and C. And so we know that A is 8, B is 12, and C is 5. Okay? So what we need to do is we need to go through and find all our angles. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the top and I'm going to find angle A. This one right here. Okay? So basically, I know what the opposite side is and I know the two adjacent sides. So I have that 8 squared is equal to 5 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 5 times 12 times cosine of A. Okay? So now I can solve for cosine of A. And cosine of A, well, it's 8 squared minus 5 squared minus 12 squared all over negative 2 times 5 times 12. So I punch that into my calculator, and then I inverse cosine it to get that A is 28.96. And I should circle these because that's given. Okay. Okay, that said, now I want to find angle B. Okay, and notice here that angle B is a big angle. So, angle B, right? So basically, now I have 12 squared. So now I have 12, and that's opposite angle B. And then I have the two other sides, 5 and 8. So I set this up exactly the same way. So I have that 12 squared is equal to 5 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 5 times 8 times the cosine of B. So that means that the cosine of B is equal to 12 squared minus 5 squared minus 8 squared all over negative 2 times 5 times 8. And so what I want to do now is I punch that into my calculator and I inverse cosine it, and I find that B is 133.43. And that makes sense because this large angle is opposite the longest side. Okay? Now, that's not what you would get if you use the law of sines to find angle B. So, here's your big extra credit opportunity that's due at the beginning of class tomorrow. What I want you to do is I want you to start out by solving the problem the same way. So you can just look at this part here to find A. But what I want you to do is I want you to use the law of sines to find angle B. And I want you to explain why your solution to that is incorrect. Okay, so that's the extra credit that is due at the beginning of class tomorrow, or right after the quiz.